Hi guys! So I've been on a bit of a recycling journey over the past few months. It sort of began when I got back from the UK. So over Christmas, I went back to see my family for the first time in 3 years, now that COVID has sort of calmed down a bit. And when I got back, I discovered that I had been given 2 bags. Okay, so here are the 2 recycling bags. The blue one is non-perishable, the green one is perishable waste. And we've got the logo here. Underneath it says, Tubaka Umuji Utungiza Ibidikikiji, which apparently means building a city begins with the environment, which is a pretty good logo. Yeah, so I'm going to put my waste in that and put it out this Friday. Okay, so I'm now keeping 2 separate bins. The one on the right is for perishables and the one on the left is for non-perishables. So I've got sort of tissue paper, food and paper and cardboard in the right, and I've got plastic, hello Hal, I've got plastic, tin and I guess glass in the left. The only thing I'm not too sure about is I've also got sort of old clothes and rags, and I would assume that would go in the perishable one, but you don't actually receive anything telling you exactly what can go in which bin, so I'm not entirely sure. And I was really excited about that. I was sort of, wow, this is great. We've got recycling options in Kigali. And then things started to go a little bit downhill, and it was entirely my own fault. I didn't explain clearly to my gardener, Emmanuel, that I needed one of each bag. And he quite sensibly put the garden waste into the green bag and took it away to dispose of. But I don't know what happened, but he brought back another blue bag. So I had 2 blue bags. So I was kind of thinking, oh, well, you know, no problem there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to staple a message onto the second blue bag just saying this is a green bag. And then, you know, the council people will come around, they'll take away the rubbish, they'll see the message and they'll throw back over the gate a blue bag and a green bag. And then I'll have both again and I'll be back to recycling normally. And I kept putting it out, and on one of them I even translated, you know, please give me a green bag back. Every single week I just kept getting 2 blue bags over the gate. So I talked to my neighbour about this and he said, oh yeah, no, you have to go and buy another bag. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that, you know. Anyway, eventually my neighbour very, very generously managed to source me another green bag. So then I was back to having a green and a blue bag. And then the CHOGM conference happened. And I don't know what it was. I think the council didn't want rubbish vans kind of going up and down the streets during CHOGM because all the heads of Commonwealth were here. It's a very big event. I guess you don't sort of want some prime minister of some country or other getting stuck behind a trash van. So instead, they arranged to pick up the trash at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't get the memo. I didn't know this. So I put my trash out really early in the morning. I went off to do something, came back, and I was a bit puzzled because I got back and I was like, my bags are still here. They've just been put behind like the hedge. I'm like, why are they still here? And then my neighbour very kindly enlightened me. My neighbour's amazing. He enlightens me on so many things. And he said, yeah, they've actually moved it. They'll be around very late tonight. And they were, and I heard it at 2 o'clock in the morning. You could hear the bin lorry like brrrr, and this guy very enthusiastically shouting orders down the road. And they took away the rubbish. Yeah, they did. They also took away my bags, and I never got them back. I don't know. I mean, apparently my neighbour said that he had actually had a word with the people who were... There are people who sit there with the rubbish to make sure people don't come and take bags and bottles and things. And they'd assured him that they would throw it over the gate after, and they didn't. So
So yeah, now I have no recycling bags. And I just kind of thought, I was getting a bit annoyed with them anyway, because they are recycling bags, but they are plastic. And that's okay if you can keep reusing them. But I did notice they were getting really frayed at the bottom, like there was holes starting to form in the bottom. So you would need to kind of replace them, probably, you know, within a few months of having got them, which is then you're sort of really just, it's plastic waste again. And the other problem with them, I mean, in the UK, because we have plastic bins that you sort your recycling, like your paper, your plastic, your glass, and all your different recycling into. And of course, because it's a bin, it's quite easy to clean it. You can just kind of give it a scrub, a rinse, swill it out. But you can't really do that with a bag, and they keep throwing back the same bag. And of course, if it's had food waste in it, you know, I was kind of thinking that they would take the bags and throw back clean bags and then wash the old bags, and, you know, like you keep getting back clean bags, but you don't. You always get back the same bag, and it starts to get a bit whiffy. You know, so cleaning those isn't very easy, because you turn it inside out, give it a scrub. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings, but I mean, I'm all for recycling. I'm willing to give it a go. I'm willing to do it if it's made doable. But I'm very reticent to go and buy more bags if they're just going to keep disappearing on me. Before all of this, what I was doing is I was separating out my plastics and my glass, and I was sending that to, there's a shop in town, I've forgotten the name of it, I'll put it below, but they collect recyclables, and they do stuff with it, like they make like plant containers, and they saw wine bottles in half, and they make them into sort of lamps and things like that. It's really quite cool. I haven't actually been to the shop, but I've seen what they've been posting. So I used to pay a courier about $1.50 to take a huge bag of my plastics and stuff and glass down to that shop to recycle. But of course, then I switched over to these recycling bags. But anything that I didn't recycle, I would put into plastic bags. Now, the thing is, in Rwanda, in 2008, they banned plastic bags, and it made, oh my goodness, it made such an incredible difference to the country. I mean, Rwanda is so clean. And I'll never forget the time I went with my friends to the Maasai. So I was with my friends, and we were driving across part of the Maasai towards the main entrance to the park. And the whole of the plain leading up to the entrance to Masai Mara was just a wasteland of plastic bags, bottles. It was not good. You know, you're going to see some of the most unique, endangered wildlife in the world, and there's just this sea of plastic bags leading up to it. It's horrible. But you don't see that here. You don't see plastic bags because there aren't any. However, in 2019, Rwanda also then tried to move to ban all single-use plastics. It hasn't quite worked, because literally you can walk into any shop and buy black plastic bin liners, which of course go to the landfill. These aren't for reuse. And there has been a bit of talk online recently, like if I order a takeaway, when it arrives, it comes with a plastic straw. I ordered something the other day, it had a plastic straw, it had a plastic cap on the cup, and it came with a plastic fork, even though it was home delivery and I have a whole load of cutlery in my kitchen. And I noticed online somebody else was mentioning there's, you know, there are other restaurants that are still using plastic straws. And I think it's difficult, because I think the ban on single-use plastics is such an important thing for countries to do. But Rwanda is in exactly the same boat as every other country right now. Is what are the alternatives? What is easily available, financially affordable, especially in economically developing countries, and to be honest, in every country now, because the economies of the US and the UK are not going well right now. The cost of living, price of food is skyrocketing, so anything that adds to that cost is not really going to be implemented easily right now. And everybody knows, like, paper straws suck. Actually, They don't suck. That's the problem with them. They basically just turn into papier-mâché in your mouth. So I just think Rwanda's got the same problem. I mean, the will is there. Like, it's a really good idea to ban single-use plastics, but how do you implement that? I mean, like I say, even the recycling bags are made of plastic in an ironic kind of twist. And we always used to have, when you went to the local shop, you always used to have cloth bags. You still get the option of paper bags, and you used to be able to buy cloth bag for life. And now I've seen a lot of shops are changing back to plastic bag for life. So I don't know. I mean, I think there is a lot of studies saying that cloth bags are also not a great solution. But the problem again with all bags for life is the theory that you buy one bag and you use it over and over and over is a brilliant one. But human beings aren't that organised. We don't remember to take the bag to the shop, you know, so you're constantly buying more of them, and then you've got a stack of them, and then you don't know what to do with them. So I don't know, but it hurts my heart today because I have separated out all of my rubbish into biodegradable food waste and into plastics and non-biodegradable stuff, but possibly recyclable stuff. And so today, unfortunately, on account of having no recycling bags of either colour, I'm just going to put the whole lot in a plastic bin bag and put that out the door on a Friday. So I guess that's the end of my recycling journey with that. I mean, I am probably going to start sending stuff to the shop again. But, you know, it's... I don't know. I'm thankful is, you know, I don't create a lot of waste. I tend to put my bins out once every 2 or 3 weeks rather than every week because I just don't create a lot of waste. But I'd like to know what other people are doing, and I'd like to hear from other people in Kigali who have got this recycling system and how that's going for you. Or, you know, if you're watching this from another country, what recycling systems do you have in your countries? And what makes it easier to do the recycling? Yeah, so let me know.